daily sports betting show on the planet. There are a ton of NBA games, a slew of NHL games, a whole bunch of bowl games, and we're also going to talk NFL football. It's our job to find you winners. And I have Adam Trigger, Andy Lang, Dave Mason, and Gianni the Greek lined up on this show. We're going to look at the Las Vegas Bowl, the Pop-Tart Bowl, a whole bunch of prop bets. Gianni and I are going to take apart every NFL game on the board, and we're going to find out where the money is from Dave Mason at Bet Online. Let's get it going. Adam Trigger joining us. Adam, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you, brother.
I'm good, Prez. Hopefully you're well. Hopefully you had a good holiday. I've only made 3 bets so far this week. 2 of them won, and 1 of them pushed, so I really can't complain. It's been a low-volume, good week for me so far.
Well, that's nice to hear, brother. Yeah, listen, holiday schmoliday. Like, Christmas Eve was nice. I did not look at the scores. Other than that, I think the next official holiday is All-Star break in baseball. Because if there's sports going on, there is no holiday in my house. Let's get into some NFL football. This game here, this one should be a good game. Look, Cincinnati, they're -3.5 at some places, -3 at others. They're playing Denver. The total has been bet up, bet down, bet up. It's around 49, 50. Couple of no 50.5s, but some 49s and 50s out there. There's a pathway for Cincinnati to make the playoffs. It is small, but this team has shown us they're not going to quit. I think they're going to give it their all. Wow, that rhymed with small. I should keep going. Nah. Adam, handicap this game, would you? Go ahead, man. Go ahead. It's all yours.
Well, yeah, you make the point. Like, the Bengals amazingly still have something to play for. You said that 3 weeks ago. I would have said no way, but they've won 3 straight games, and some things have fallen in place where, this is a Saturday afternoon game, which means they're going to go into this game playing the team that they need to catch. So still kind of everything to play for. They're still going to need some help. But it helps, I think, when you're looking at this game, and I'm looking at the Cincinnati side, that helps that the Bengals still, kind of have something to play for. They're playing at home. Like, there's the motivation, in my opinion, is still there. I think Cincinnati's a far superior team to the Broncos. Like, if you throw out the records, listen, the Bengals have had some rough luck this season. Some of it has been brought upon by themselves, but if you just look at, like, some of their losses, Week 1 to the Patriots when they were banged up, like, losing that game is inexcusable. The 1-point loss to the Chiefs, the overtime loss to the Ravens, losing late to the Commanders, losing on to the Ravens again, trying to go for 2 at the on the last play of the game, and then the lead to the Chargers. Like, this Bengals team should be a lot better, and I actually think they're a lot. Not only do I think they're a lot better than the Broncos, but I think this is a Broncos team, Prez, that's kind of going in the wrong direction. Their defense, in my opinion, has regressed. And, so when I put these two teams on the same field, like these two teams right now, I think are totally in opposite directions, with the Bengals having won 3 straight and the Broncos, kind of losing that game on Thursday night and giving up some points to teams like the Browns, that they shouldn't have won that game, but they kind of get away with it. So I do want to fade the Broncos. My problem is, the Bengals defense is just so bad. And that makes it tough to lay what would have been, like, maybe yesterday, like 3.5. 3 is a little bit more, it's a little easier to stomach here, because I do see a scenario where the Bengals are ahead in this game and the Broncos score late. But I think 3 is playable. As bad as the Bengals defense is, I think the Bengals are going to be able to score. Burrow's going to be able to light up the secondary, in my opinion, especially with Riley Moss still banged up. So I lean toward the Bengals. I don't know if I'm going to get the number I want to play it here, but I just wouldn't bet the Broncos in this spot. They're a team that's going in the wrong direction, in my opinion, and the Bengals still have something to play for. So lean Cincinnati for me.
Adam Trigger joining us, everyone. What a show we've got. Stay with us all the way to the end. Gianni and I are going to go through every single game on the board, and we're going to give our opinions as well on this Cincinnati-Denver game. Adam, let's turn our attention to some college football. The bowl season in all seriousness begins today. I mean, obviously we've had some bowl games, but we're about to have a bowl explosion. We're going to talk Texas A&M and USC. We got USC at plus 3.5. A total here of 52.5. I am curious where you're going in this game.
Yeah, so Prez, as far as I'm concerned, every one of these bowls that isn't a college football playoff bowl game is an exhibition, and I really think you need to treat it like that when you're handicapping these games. It's basically preseason football at this point in terms of, like, you have a largely different team in a lot of cases than the team that's on the field for all of the regular season games. And so that's kind of how I've tried to handicap these, is like kind of wait till the day of, see if a line comes into range, and I'll either attack if there's the right spot to do so, or I pass on it. So I'm looking at this game the same way, and I'm kind of leaning toward USC, especially when this was 4. Now I was surprised to see it took a little bit of money, considering the betting public is very much on the Texas A&M side here. But I may jump in at 3.5, especially if this comes back to 3.5. Texas A&M's missing their entire defensive line. Both teams have guys in the portal, but in my opinion, the guys in the portal on the A&M side are more, they matter more to the outcome of this game. And I think you give Lincoln Riley some time to prepare, and he's going to have a game plan, to move the football. Now, USC, I think they can run the ball here, and they probably should have run it more this year. That was one of their sort of downfall at times, is not running the ball enough. A&M's basically without their entire defensive front for this game. So you give Riley some time to prepare, and he can kind of drum up a little bit of a run game here. And I think USC can find success moving the ball. Jaden Maivia is going to be the quarterback here for USC. He's a hometown kid, hometown to Las Vegas. I think, the fact that this game is being played in Las Vegas helps USC. They have a huge fan base there. And they've got a lot of their defense is still intact. Now, USC's been very banged up defensively this year, Prez, but the guys that have been playing, for the most part, are still out there, and they've got pretty much their entire secondary here. When this got bet up to 4, I kind of had 4. I make this 3, A&M minus 3, if this was a regular season game on a neutral field with both teams at full strength. So under the circumstances, I think there's some value at that 3.5. I wish I jumped in here at 4. I might take 3.5. I lean Trojans in this one. I think they probably win, but I think anything better than 3 is a decent bet.
Adam Trigger. B Daddy, one of our listeners, he agrees with you. He likes plus 3.5 with USC. He also likes the over in that game. Adam, let's turn our attention to the Iowa State-Miami game. This is the Pop-Tart Bowl. Exceptional name. I gotta stop and just say really quickly, I get a kick out of this. I get a kick out of this bullshit. Like, as a Canadian guy who doesn't have this ingrained. So what I heard from you is these athletes play all year to win the opportunity to play in a meaningless exhibition game where a bunch of them decide not even to play in. Why did they start the year? What was the point of any of it?
It's the reason you just need to expand the playoff. I'm sure we don't have enough time on this show to argue both sides of that. But in my opinion, you just need to expand the playoff, more meaningful games. Guys won't opt out; they'll play.
Adam, that ain't the way to fix it, brother, and I'll tell you why. You can't expand it that far. Like, this is football. These guys need a week off. To get every team to play something meaningful, you'd have to start the playoffs in September with, 742 teams? The
FCS
way to
has
fix
been doing
it,
the 24 team for years. FCS has been doing the 24 team playoff for years. I think that's what
there's a better way to fix it. It's called relegation. Like, the soccer leagues around the world know how to do this. They understand what it means to have 100 teams in a league. Put a bunch of divisions, 20 teams in each, relegate the bottom 2 down, the top 2 up, have only the top group play for the championship game in a playoff, and everybody else, there'll be a ton of drama because you would never want to see your team get relegated. You lose TV rights, money, this, that, and the other, and plus you'd want to see your team get moved up. Duh! Okay.
Prez, I fully agree with you. That is genius for Division I football. I think it actually makes a ton of sense.
If you guys agree, hit that like. If you guys agree, hit that like button. And you know what? If you don't agree, hit that like button as well. Thanks so much. Miami was -3 in a meaningless nothing game. Now they are -3.5. The total is 56.5. The question is, how do we bet it?
Well, yeah, and people it is really a meaningless game in the respect that both of these teams essentially lost their playoff game already. And it's too bad. I was at that Miami-Syracuse game. Phenomenal game. One of the best Cuse football games I've been to in years. But Miami would have been the far better representative out of the ACC in the college football playoff. This team was better than Clemson, better than SMU. And so you have to think all they needed to do was go in and win as a 12-point favorite at Syracuse. They're in the playoff. That's crushing, right? That's a crushing way to finish your season. Iowa State, same thing. They needed to beat Arizona State in essentially what was a playoff game, and they're in the playoff. They don't do it. Now they're in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. So both teams are coming in here potentially I think a couple weeks ago they thought their season would end differently, and now it's going to end in the Pop-Tart Bowl. I think it's huge here that Cam Ward is going to play this game for Miami. At least he says he is. Now, remember, Prez, you believe it when you see it, right? It's got to, there's still a couple, 24 hours to this game. I think at this point he's definitely going to play. But that totally sets the tone for Miami caring about this bowl game. Because if he wasn't going to play, then I don't think they would care. And Miami has a history of not caring about these types of bowl games. 2-12. Against the spread in their last 14 bowl games. The reason for that, Prez, they've continued to underachieve in the regular season. They get in bowl games they don't care about, and then they come out and they don't play hard in the bowl game. But I think Ward sets the tone here, and I really think Miami needs to win one of these big for Cristobal. And with Ward, this offense, in my opinion, is going to be able to do what they want against Iowa State. This is a team that doesn't rush the passer particularly well. And if you give Ward time, it's going to be a problem because Miami's actually pretty respectable running the football, which I think they will be able to do despite how good Iowa State can be defensively. So Cam Ward's the key, in my opinion. If he's out there, it's going to raise the entire the entire team's going to get up to kind of send him off. Because remember, he's a high NFL draft pick. He did not have to play in this game. He does not have to play in this game. The fact that he's out there gives Miami something to play for. And I think Iowa State is arguably in as much of a letdown as Miami is because Iowa State basically effectively lost their playoff game in the Big 12 final. So I like Miami here. I've got Miami a much bigger favorite than this. I've got them -7 on a neutral in this game if all things were full strength. So this one I may jump in with now that it looks like Ward is definitely going to play. I really like Miami minus the 3.5 points.
Adam, what an outstanding segment, brother. I think you laid out a great argument for all three of your bets. You were concise. And you're having an exceptional hair day. So that was great work, man. What do you got going for the clients?
Yeah, so client plays that are up right now. 2 NFL plays. One of them's a 5% play. I've got 4 football 5%ers in a row. If you don't count my push from last week. So we're trying to keep that streak going. That's up for Sunday. If I play one of the bowl games today, if I play that USC game, I'll just post it to my Twitter. So just follow me at AdamTriggerWT. I'll post that one if I'm going to play it. Other than that, no college basketball today. So we're back in action with college hoops tomorrow. Yep. Coupon code TRIG349. Get you my college basketball from now right through March Madness. That's a great special we've got going the rest of this week. And as always, WT.buzz/AT for all of my plays. Good week so far. college basketball had one of my better weeks this past week, so hopefully we roll right into conference play and have a great start to the new year.
There we go. Adam Trigger. 1 done, 3 to go. We still got Andy Lang, Dave Mason, and Gianni the Greek joining us. And again, a quick reminder, we've got that unbelievable promo up for everybody at the site. It is Holiday 25. That is Holiday 25. That's the coupon code. You get 25% off of anything you put in your shopping cart. So a daily, a weekly, a monthly. I've got a 5% play up tomorrow. Stick it in your shopping cart. Use Holiday 25. Get 25% off. That's how it works. You can use it for any handicapper at the site. Andy Lang joining us. Andy, God, we're doing this every day now, brother. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I like your idea for relegation. It's basically like the show Survivor, which is one of the most popular and successful TV shows of all time. Like, if you're not good enough, you just get voted out. So if you're not good enough, you don't make it to the league. I think it's compelling. I think it's a great idea. I think you're onto something.
Well, Andy, I mean, listen, it's so simple to do, right? You just divide everything into 20, and then you could still keep these stupid bowl games. The way you do it is you take the top 4 teams, they play a playoff, and then the top 6 or whatever, and the top 2 move up, the bottom 2 who did not make the move down. I mean, it's really not rocket science, and it's not my idea. This is an an old idea started by the original, sports leagues in the world. It's just that, well, North Americans have a tendency to change things, You didn't like the GH and night, you got rid of it.
I'm not with you that all these bowl games are stupid. Why not have them?
I never said stupid. Yes, I did. Stupid seems about right to me.
You did. Yeah, you just said it. It's more bowl games for people to watch. It's more entertainment.
Yeah.
Even if people to play, it's more for people to bet on. Give me more of the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Dude,
absolutely.
Listen, from a betting perspective, hey, let's roll out 50 of these bowl games. Well, probably at close to that by now.
They're close.
Who doesn't make a bowl game? But anyway, yeah, from a betting perspective, I agree, but there's still a fan in me, dude. I know Teddy, his fandom has left the building. I'm still a fan, and I still want excitement and drama. Anyway, I watched Gladiator 2 last night, Andy. I mentioned yesterday I'd watched Gladiator 1 the night before. Thought it was the best movie I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen it 4 times. I watched Gladiator 2 last night, and I'm going to give you a quick review on that. I thought the plot and storyline was excellent. I thought Paul Mescal was amazing. The fight scenes were idiotic. The CGI gorilla baboon chimps fight scene was beyond stupid.
That's too bad.
Turning the Coliseum into an ocean and having the movie Jaws smacked in the middle of a fight scene was idiotic. The Ridley Scott outthought himself. I wish they would have just done regular fight scenes. So that's my number one biggest problem. Well, the main set pieces, the set fight pieces, were ridiculous. But the biggest problem I had...
Keep it simple. Why don't they keep these movies simple? You know what we want. We want guys and gladiators fighting each other. Don't overthink it.
It's not hard. It's not hard. But Andy, the thing that annoyed me the most of all is, and I'm not ruining anything, the new kid, Paul Mescal, he ends up being Maximus's son. Okay? So he's Russell Crowe's son. So Russell Crowe in the original Gladiator was so deeply in love with his wife and kid. The entire concept of that movie was based around his love for his wife and his child. Yet we are to assume, or we are to expect, or whatever, He had an affair. And the two kids are the same age. So while he's loving on his wife and kid, while they're at home and he's fighting wars, he's having sex with the princess. So they basically took the honor of Maximus and shat all over it. Anyway, let's get to some props, dude. What do you got for us?
Well, let's talk. Next week is when everyone's going to start talking about NFL incentives and contract incentives. Let's get out in front of it and see if we can talk about some to keep your eye on and how maybe we can make some money on it this week. So here's a couple of them. Mike Evans, he needs 13 catches, 192 yards, and a touchdown to reach his contract incentives. And here's the thing with him. Baker Mayfield is talking about this more than Mike Evans is. Baker Mayfield, it means a lot to Baker to get Mike Evans over the 1,000 yards and to get his contract incentives. His receiving total this week is 82.5, and his receptions is 5.5. He's gonna get peppered with targets, and he's also minus 125 anytime touchdown. So take a look at Mike Evans. It might be a really good spot for that. Zach Ertz needs 5 receptions, 62 yards, and 2 touchdowns for his contract incentives. His receiving total is 37.5, and his receptions is 3.5. You might look at those as well. And he's plus 285 anytime touchdown. I bring up Zach Ertz and Trey McBride because I think the plus money on their anytime touchdown props is very intriguing. Prez, Trey McBride has 92 catches this season and no touchdowns. It's almost impossible that he hasn't accidentally fallen into the end zone with 92 catches. The Rams have only allowed 4 touchdowns. In my heart of hearts, I have to believe that the Cardinals are not going to let Trey McBride go the entire season with catching 100 passes and not getting a touchdown. And you can get that at plus 175. I might play it this week and next week. If you play it this week and if it hits, you're probably good. You don't need to play it next week. But you play it this week, and if it doesn't hit, you come back and play it at the plus money because that just breaks my heart to think a guy as good as Trey McBride would go an entire season with no touchdown. So those are some incentives and some props to look at for this weekend.
Jesus, I will say this, Andy. If shit like that breaks your heart, you must be sad all the time. Andy Lang joining us. Yeah, there we go. I could care less whether a multi-gazillionaire gets a touchdown or not while he plays a game that kids love. But we don't want your heart broken, dude. So let's move on.
This guy's career could be over in an instant.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking. You Tank Dell? You think his career is over? You think he'll never play again?
I think he's in big jeopardy of not ever being close to the same player and not being useful to teams. I'm worried about him on that one.
And Trey McBride not getting a touchdown is what breaks your heart. Ryan Hartman, NHL, over 1.5 shots on goal. Tell us why.
Well, Prez, you and I talked about him to not have a point. He's just continued to not have a point so much that the books don't even put it up anymore. They were sick of everyone playing it. But look what he's doing with the shots on goal. He's over in 22 out of 30 games this year, over in 7 out of the last 9. Dallas is 5th in shots on goal allowed, but he's gone over in 8 out of the last 9 games against Dallas. So we pivot from Ryan Hartman to not have a point to let's take this over 1.5 shots on goal. I'll go right into the NBA because this one is near and dear to my team. Andrew Nembhard, over 11.5 points. His minutes are back up over 26 per game now that he's healthy. He had some injury problems, but he's looking great. He's shooting 53.4% from the field, 48 shot attempts the last 4 games. And they're playing the Celtics. Prez, this isn't the Celtics that started the year or ended last year. They're beat up. Drew Holiday is questionable. Derek White has a hamstring injury. The Pacers are a team on the rise. Last 5 games, the Pacers are 6th in offensive rating. Obi Toppin is out. Or it's a game time decision, but I don't expect him to play. Those are more shot attempts, and Nembhard is on the trajectory up. So I would take him over 11.5 points against Boston tonight.
Andy Lang joining us. Andy, what do you got going with the clients?
It's very simple. We got one NHL best bet that is up. It's 17-6 run. We've hit 4 in a row in the NHL. It's been one of the best things that we have going for us. WT.buzz/AL. We'll have NFL plays up for this weekend, but tonight, just want to take it really easy and keep that winning streak going in NHL. One best bet is up, WT.buzz/AL. Still holding on to that number one spot last 2 years in units gained. Good luck, everyone. Let's have another great weekend.
Andy Lang, outstanding stuff. I love having Andy on. We have him on every day. Hope you guys are enjoying the new format. We got Andy on 4 times a week, Gianni on every day. We're trying our best to provide you guys with winning information. And we've still got Dave Mason and Gianni the Greek to come. I'm going to take apart the LA Chargers New England game really quick. And guys, this is a client play. I've got actually a gigantic Saturday card lined up. I've got a 5% play in the Bulls, and I have four NFL bets. There's only 3 games. Here's one of them. Great job by New England last week against the Bulls. Really outstanding. I mean, Drake May is for real. I'm super impressed with this kid. And look, had he have not thrown an interception in the end zone, New England could have won that game outright. This is a team that is definitely trying with their coach, and I love to see that at this time of year. So what do we do in this game? First off, I got to tell you right off the bat, the only way to look for me at this game is the over. 42.5, guys. This is a super low number. We've already seen the Chargers put up 34 on Denver, and they've had no issue consistently getting over 25 points in a game. Plus, their defense, they were amazing at the beginning of the season when they played nobody. They've definitely taken a step back. They allowed Denver to put up 27 on them. They allowed Tampa Bay to put up 40. And the Pats, they just put up 21 against Buffalo, and they have scored 17 or more points in 7 out of their last 8 games. They're also moving the ball up and down the field. They just got to not throw an interception in the end zone. We saw they were able to move up and down the field on Buffalo. We also saw that they're really going for it on 4th down plays. So I look at this number and I think 42.5, it's pretty low. Can both teams get into the 20s? I think they can. I think worst case scenario, New England gets us 17. And I really think that the Chargers are going to get us to 27. I like over the total in this game. Dave Mason joining us. Dave, what do you think about this game?
You're talking about the New England game?
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
Yeah, I'm on another chat here. I'm listening. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you say you didn't have a side there, but oh my God, everybody else does. We're getting pounded pretty big on the other side. Total. Let me bring that up real quick. Sorry, I was in another chat there for a minute. Yeah, for the spread, I mean, everybody's on the Chargers. That's going to be a massive need for us. We're going to need the Patriots. As far as the total's concerned, nothing sharps on the total. As far as overall bet count, tickets, system's a little slow here. It's a little bit more on the total, on the over. About 58% is on the over. About 60% is on the over, but not a lot of volume on that one. But the spread, on the other hand, I mean, the Chargers are the second most popular bet of this weekend as of now, behind the Lions. So
that's what I was about to ask you. What is the first most popular bet? So it's the Lions -3.5 against San Fran. That's a real surprise for me. I think that's a stranger game than people think. I am shocked that look, I'm not shocked Detroit is taking money. I'm shocked they're the number one bet.
Yeah, and especially because it's a Monday night game too. Because I mean, just so many bettors, especially recreational bettors, they don't wait to bet until the Monday night game until Monday. So they're betting Saturday game, Sunday game, and then if they have money, then they're betting Monday night. So the fact that Friday morning or Friday afternoon, wherever you are, the Monday night game has the highest ticket amount is very, very unique, let's say. So Monday night, I mean, that game's going to be crazy. I mean, we're going to, especially on Monday night, people that won are going to be doubling up, and people that lose are going to be chasing their bets. So Monday night's going to be an absolute huge sweat for us. Money line parlays, just everything.
Dave Mason, guys, joining us from betonline.ag, an incredible sports book. And I'm really appreciative of your time. You come on every week, Friday. Thank you for that. Dave, let's just stay with NFL for a few minutes, and then we're going to turn our attention to the college football bowls. One of the games that has stood out to me is this Dallas-Philadelphia game. The reason I mention it is, man, I mean, we had minus 11.5 as the opener. It's now down to 7. We had 43.5 as the opener. It's now down to 38. That's some serious freaking line moves on both the spread and the total in this game. What are you seeing or hearing out there?
Yeah. Shoot. Well, the bettors are on Dallas now. Like you said, they're only getting 7 points right now, but they're getting bet. What is it? 64% of the bet count is on Dallas. People just have a lot of bettors just have recent memory. You know what I mean? Remember Dallas winning last week and the Eagles struggling. As far as sharps are also on the Cowboys plus 7.5 or more. So, that's another reason, not only a little bit of lopsided, but sharps are definitely taking over a touchdown on the Cowboys here.
Anything else that we need to know about NFL, where the money is going?
Yeah, I'll give you some sharp stuff first. Falcons plus 4.5 or more. Cards plus 7, but Rams minus 5. So two-way there. Bills minus 9.5 or 9. Vikings pick or plus 1. The Cowboys I mentioned. As far as lopsided bet counts, like I said, the Chargers are huge. 84% of the bettors are on the Chargers. Detroit, 88% of bettors are on Detroit. Cincinnati, 62% on Cincinnati, 64% on Washington, 66% on Carolina, and then again, 64% on Dallas. Those are the most lopsided at the moment.
Okay, let's get into some college football. As we're taping, 14-0 Oklahoma against Navy. We got, I think, 4 more bowl games left today and a slew tomorrow as we get into the weekend. Just let's talk in general. Any bets you're seeing out there? Anything we need to know money-wise?
Yeah, I'll give you some sharp. Georgia Tech minus 2.5, Texas Tech minus 1 or better. And there's two-way USC plus 3.5, A&M minus 2.5. The over on that game as well, over 51.5. UL Lafayette plus 11. NC State minus 6.5 or fewer. Louisiana Tech plus 16. Some early sharp on next week's playoff games. Boise plus 11.5, but PSU minus 10. A little bit on Ohio State minus 1. As far as the bet counts, some lopsided bet counts, 68% on Texas Tech, 71% on Cuse, 66% on A&M. Next week, 64% on Bama. Then from the championship games update on bet counts there, PSU, Boise's 50-50, 56% on Texas, 54% on Oregon. And then Georgia's the one that's getting the most lopsided action is 66% on Georgia laying 2 versus the Irish.
Dave Mason, outstanding stuff, Dave. I hope you have. I hope you're having an amazing holiday. My brother's heading down to Costa Rica in a couple of weeks. Hope everything's good, bro.
Yeah, it is good, man. And then one last thing, the Pop-Tart Bowl, man. We have which Pop-Tart's going to get eaten. This is an important prop. Hot Fudge Sundae plus 150, Wild Berry plus 175, or Frosted Cinnamon Roll plus 200. I love that Pop-Tart Bowl.
Well, I'm glad you do. I think it's now we're betting on which Pop-Tart is going to get eaten. Okay, whatever. Thanks for that information, though, Dave. I really appreciate you being on here. What do you got to promote?
BetOnline.ag. Come on over for the earliest opening odds for football, basketball, and NHL. We also have an NHL reduced juice odds. That action's heating up as the football starts to kind of wind down. So get on over to BetOnline.ag. sign up. We got a good sign up offer. All great VIP program, earliest open odds. Come on, get it.
You got it. Dave Mason, thanks, brother. We'll see you next Friday. Guys, just a shout out to myself. I got a 4% NHL play up tonight. I almost never have these 4 or 5% plays. Like, honestly, 80, 90% of my plays are 3%. I got a play tonight in NHL that I just freaking love. Gianni the Greek joining us. Gianni, welcome to the show. How are you, brother?
Never better, brothers. Never better. Busy, man. We're betting so far. It's been bowl games, some NFL, today's bowl games, future bowl games, playoff games. So it's getting busy, man. We talked about it earlier that as we approach this weekend, things really start to get busy in sports betting. And yes, already starting to see it, brother. Already starting to see it.
Yep. So Gianni, man, we are up against it time-wise. Let's roll, dude. We're gonna go down the NFL. We're gonna go down the NFL slate. You're gonna tell us where the money is, what's happening, and what do you think personally about each game. And we're gonna start off with the Chargers and New England. I already gave out the over in this football game. I think the number is a bit too low, and I also expect New England to go for it a lot on fourth down. I think we're in a situation now, and we saw it a little with Chicago last night, where the coaches want to see these quarterbacks more than they want to punt. So I like the over in this one.
I like New England. I think this line's just way too high. Again, it's that time of the year where the have and the have-nots, and you're starting to see a premium being charged. The ticket count is all in favor of the Chargers, so I'm not surprised. I just think this line's way too high. Give me New England at home, where they've only won one game this year, but I think the pressure's on. Back to the wall. Give me New England plus the points.
And really a truly horrible spot for the Chargers as far as betting spots go. Denver and Cincinnati, Gianni. I'm going to stay out of this one. Where are you going here?
Yeah, the same thing. I can tell you this. The over is what continues to get bet.
Yes.
Wise Guys got over at 47 and a half. But since then, it's been the public driving this up with a bunch of tying in teasers and parlays from earlier in the week. I don't like the move myself at 51. I'm looking to go under. We'll see if it gets there.
Yeah, I mean, right now we've got 50s across the board and a couple of 49s. I get it, man. I mean, listen, Denver's put up points. Cincinnati's defense is horrible, and nobody is stopping Cincinnati's offense. So I do understand the move to the over. There's been a move to the under in the Rams game, and I agree with that. Where are you going here?
Yeah, I think you're right there. And a money on the Rams. I mean, nonstop money. Yep. I think the look ahead on this was 3.5. And let's not forget, there's a little bit of revenge there. Arizona crushed them, I think 41-10 back in September, first week or two of the season. So you got a little bit of revenge there for the Rams. And of course, they've been covering games, 4 straight wins, 4 straight covers. So I think this is another spot where you're being asked to pay a little bit more than you should. At 7, I'm looking to take Arizona. The fact that it's still sitting at 6.5 with all that pressure tells me a lot. And when it did get to 7, it came back off of that. So if it gets back to 7, I'll look to take it this time. I like the 7 on Arizona.
Gianni, I agree 100% with you on this. I mean, this is one of those games where it's just going to be, and it sounds so weird given that the Rams still need to win football games, but this is going to be a flat spot for LA. And I think Arizona is going to play a bit freer, if you will. 7 is a big number, a division matchup.
Yep. And the Rams
agree.
played 3 road games in the last 4 weeks, Prez. Like, they've gone on the road 3 times already in December. Now they return home. So, I mean, this is a tired team that's been winning games because they had to, but now you're being asked to play a big price with them.
Yeah. So I'm passing outright on the first game up on Sunday on the rotation schedule, and that's Indianapolis against the New York Giants. I just can't find a bet here. I mean, a gun held to my head, I'm taking the under, but it's not, so I'm moving on.
That's where I'm going to. If I got to bet this game, I'm looking for it to go under. I don't think the Jets are going to score a lot against this Buffalo team. They did put up 20 against them the first time around, 2023. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I like under, but I haven't bet the game.
Gianni, one of the most interesting things to me about sports betting is the counterintuitiveness of it. Nothing shocks me anymore. Washington just had a statement win. They lose this game outright.
You think so?
I do.
It's a big, this would be a huge letdown for them. And you're playing an Atlanta team that is coming in, off back-to-back wins. I'll tell you what I did. I bet the over in this game. And usually I would look to go the other way. I'd look to go the other way, Prez. I gave it out as a 4% to subscribers at over 46. So we got a good number there. If you want to take it now, it's on you. Usually two teams coming off scoring 30 plus points. I'm expecting the price to be higher than it should on the over, but I just don't see either of these teams being able to really stop the other. I think Washington's going to have a lot of success putting up points, and I think Atlanta, even on the road, will be able to put up some as well. As long as the weather isn't too big of a factor, I think we should be okay with the over.
I like that play a lot. That makes a lot of sense. I prefer Atlanta here. It's just it's one of those things. Would not be surprised if they won this game outright. Vegas and New Orleans. I mean, again, look, it's got to be the under or nothing here. I mean, New Orleans just laid a duck last week. That's a 0 for people who don't watch cricket. I got to look at the under here, but the chances of me touching this game is very slim.
Yeah, the same here. I'm not going to bet this game. I don't think so unless something really huge comes in. But I'm not laying points with the Raiders on the road. I don't care if it's only a half point.
Right.
Like in what world am I comfortable betting the Las Vegas Raiders as favorites on the road? This team doesn't win many football games. So for me, it's an obviously pass situation. I kind of lean with you with the total. I'm not looking to do anything with it unless it gets to 1.5 and I could tease New Orleans up. That's what I'd like to do with a low total of 37.5, especially since it's bet down from 39.5. Each half point matters more than ever. So that's what I'm hoping for. I hope the Raiders get some money. It goes to 1.5, 2 or 2.5, and I can tease New Orleans up. That would be the spot for me there.
I like the over in the Tennessee-Jacksonville game. Look, Tennessee out of the blue is putting up points. They're whipping the ball all around the field. Their defense literally retired from football a few weeks ago. And I think we can get enough out of Jacksonville for this game to get into the 40s.
Yeah, I can't bet this one under. I agree with you. I saw some offense. I was a little bit surprised that the public money hasn't gone that way. In fact, looking at the back end right now, there's more bets on the under, Prez, in this game. And again, I don't know whether that has a lot to do with the bias of these two teams just playing on December 8th and not even being able to crack 20 combined. That total was 40.5. It's now been adjusted even lower. That to me is a little bit scary. It's a pass for me. Don't want to waste your time there. Yeah, ugly game. What do we do with this Buffalo Jets game? I mean, Buffalo's kind of locked in. I feel like this is a bit of a letdown spot, even though they didn't play well last week, and I think they do want to turn that feeling around. I can't get anywhere near -10 here, and I have sworn off of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Again, gun held to my head, I'd take the over, but I'm out of this game. Yeah, listen, I agree with you. I bet the over, actually. Usually, again, with teams like this, I would think that I would look to go anti-public, like that the price would be a little bit too high. But I just don't see that. I mean, they played earlier in the year. The total was only 42. It's a huge adjustment up. I'm 5 points higher. Usually, again, I'm going to back up off of that and be like, were they really that off? Is this adjustment warranted? I think it is. They cracked it by only 1 point in that first game, but I do think based on how both these teams are coming in and the lack of it really mattering for Buffalo will allow the Jets to put up enough points to get this game over. I like the over 47.
Gianni, I did the NFL presidential address. It's up at our channel now, WagerTalk.tv. All of these games I go much deeper in. I give you all my reasonings. I think Tampa Bay blows Carolina out. I almost never take -8s or 9s or 10s. I just feel like Carolina has tried their best. They got their win. Tampa Bay by 20.
Ooh, here's where I'm going with this. I'm actually going to give it to you guys right now because I have 6 bets already for this week's NFL action. So here you go with another one. I went under. I released that today to my subscribers. under 48 in this one. Again, they played a couple weeks ago. It had to go to overtime to get that one over 46. That's why you saw the slight adjustment. But you're looking at two of the worst defenses in the NFL, and that's why. That's why. Usually you would be like, wait, what's he talking about? Two bad defenses, you expect points. But no. It's usually the perfect storm for an under because of the overreaction to how bad these defenses are. Again, this total is now higher than the first game because that one needed overtime to go over. They adjusted it based on what you've seen the last week with them scoring 36 points against Arizona. Tampa Bay coming off a game where they've scored 24, 40, 28, 26, 30. So they're all putting up all these points. I don't think in this matchup that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to see a much lower scoring game than this total reflects. I went under 48. As bad as these defenses are, I don't think the offenses are going to be able to put up much points either. Give me the under at 48. And again, that was a 4% play for me.
Gianni, the Greek, joining us. Gianni, let's race through this. We got just 3-4 more minutes with you. Green Bay, I'm giving all my thoughts on the next 4 games, then you. I like the over in the Green Bay, Minnesota game. I like the over in the Dallas, Philadelphia game, and I like Dallas. I have no opinion on the Miami, Cleveland game yet, and I am going to for sure be laying off of Detroit and San Fran as of now. Go, your turn.
Give me Green Bay. I'll take them. I think they're just the better team, and I don't think the home field advantage is going to matter. These two teams know each other very well. I like Green Bay there. I like Dallas. Gave them out as a smaller bet because I missed the 9.5, but I was able to catch the 8 on them. Browns and the Dolphins, not much for me to share there, so don't want to waste your time. What I can tell you is good two-way action from the betting public. And then Monday night, give me the Niners, man. This is their Super Bowl. They have nothing else to play for this entire season. This is a team that comes into the season expecting not to get to the playoffs, but to get to the Super Bowl, at least this year, as they did not long ago. But the injury stopped them from letting that happen. We know where Detroit stands and what they have this year. Again, a much improved team. One of the finalists in the NFC for a Super Bowl spot. But you're being asked to lay way too much here on the road. Give me the Niners. This is their game to show up on TV Monday night. Nothing else to play for. Beat this Detroit team that everybody's talking about. If San Fran's ever going to show up, I think this is the week.
Gianni, the Greek. Gianni, what's going on in the bowl games today? NBA, NHL. The mic is yours.
All right, quickly in the NBA. I gave you a winner last night, a premium winner. Let me give you one tonight, too. 522 under 214. 522 under 214. San Antonio and Brooklyn. I also bet the under 236 in Cleveland and Denver. College football, difference of opinion, two-way action from betting syndicates on Texas Tech and Arkansas, but the public's heavy on the Texas Tech side. Nothing else really to share there, except Georgia Tech got bet up. But when it got to about 4, that's where you saw some Vandy money in that next game. But yeah, that's about it for today's bowl games. Later in the week, we got a lot more to talk about. And again, I'll be on Last Call with Kelly on Saturday morning to touch on some of those college football games that go off tomorrow. A lot of good games over the next couple of days. Go on over to WagerTalk.com, Greek_Gambler. Got a big weekend planned for you.
Love having you on, dude. I'm so pumped we get to do this every day. Gianni the Greek, thank you, my brother. Shout out to all our guests today, Adam Trigger, Andy Lang, Dave Mason, and Gianni the Greek. What an outstanding show. Guys, it's going to be an absolutely massive weekend. We've got that promo up for everybody, Holiday 25. You can go get Adam Trigger, me, Andy, Gianni, or anybody else at the website, $25 off. Lots of love, man. Let's have a monster weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.